Today, I'm going to go over the cities that lead the nation in new construction. Why am I talking about this topic? It's because this is the growth. Everyone, whether you are a home buyer or whether you are a real estate investor, you need to look at project into the future. New construction of homes indicates a growing area, population growth, job growth, because builders are not going to build anywhere when they do not see people have the ability to buy these new construction homes. That means new construction tells me that a particular area is growing, is accommodating more people are moving to these locations. So this is a critical component. And of course, with the skyrocketing of home prices in the past few years, especially during the pandemic and the elevated mortgage rates, the home affordability factor is at its lowest in the past 40 years. People are trying to buy homes. This is the American dreams, but most areas of the country are so unaffordable. They do not qualify. A lot of people are stuck being renters. So everybody, the major motivation is to find a home, especially new construction in a growing area where the homes where the median prices are under $300,000. Under the median price of a home across the country nationwide is in excess of $400,000. So that disqualifies a lot of people. So I am a real estate investor. I've been following new construction companies in many markets, especially in the Sunbelt Market in the past 20 years. I have led my group of real estate investors, and over the past 20 years, I have helped several hundred, even more investors to buy cash flow turnkey properties in the growth market, especially in the Sunbelt with entry-level homes. We're talking entry-level new construction homes, which is critical for my blueprint, my criteria to help investors cash flow, to buy cash flow with 20 to 25% down payment. But similarly with owner occupied primary home buyers, same thing. You're looking for affordability, growing market where there's a lot of jobs. With that in mind, so let me share with this article by Housing Wire, the recent article. Here are the cities that lead the nation in new home construction. So here it is. New home sales have been a bright spot in housing markets across the country that have been struggling for years with high mortgage rates and low inventory. Yes, we still have a housing shortage, although we have a little bit of a reprieve, meaning we are seeing a temporarily, at least, a buyer's market when there are more supply than demand. So right now there's a short window. I believe there's a short window in a buyer's market where the buyers have the leverage, where the buyers can negotiate for better deals. But let me tell you, if this is my prediction, when and if the mortgage rate comes down below 6%, a lot of people can get off the sidelines because affordability is going to come back to the national housing market, and people gonna start buying homes. Then you can see a lot of competition. You can go back to a seller's market potentially, whereby there are more demand than there are supply of inventory of homes. So therefore, we can see some put pressure on home prices being increasing. So right now, there's a low competition due to the demand supply equilibrium. So right now is a good deal for primary home buyers and real estate investors to take action at this time. That is my recommendation. And I'm just a real estate investor. I'm not a realtor. It's just in case some of you have been following me. The benefit of newly built homes are spread unevenly as markets in the South tend to have more construction than other regions. A new report from Consumer Affairs combined data from the U.S. Census Bureau and Zillow to find which cities have the most new construction activities and sales. Many of the top markets in March 2025 were, unsurprisingly, in Texas, which many of my investors are buying turnkey investment properties, especially in Dallas. You learn more about that from my other contents. So Texas, Houston, which has fewer land use regulations than most states, ranked first in both permits and sales of newly built homes at 11,000 and 1,300. By the way, fewer land use regulation. To me, this is very important. Texas and Florida and few other Sunbelt states, especially in the South and Southeast, have very few land use regulations and there's a lot of land, so builders love to build homes in these low cost areas of the country because it's very profitable to them. Plus, builders, before they build new home communities, they want to make sure that particular area is growing in population and jobs. That's the key. So I followed new construction builders for many years in many Sunbelt markets. Entry-level homes, that is the key to affordability and for future American dream. But land use regulations are very restricted in many Northeastern markets and the Midwest and the high-cost Western region of the U.S. That's why you do not find home affordability in these regions. So you have to project into the future, not just currently and not just the current volatility, what's going on in the country. It's just you have to go beyond the current challenges, current volatility, and look beyond the small picture. You look at the big picture. Dallas is second in permits and fifth in sales. San Antonio is fourth in sales, while Austin is ninth in permits and eighth in sales. New construction in Texas and Florida, no surprise to me, has seen a drop in market activity because they overbuilt in relationship to demand. We've seen some market corrections in certain areas of Texas and Florida, not everywhere. In case you do not know, real estate is local. I know we talk about, myself and other channels and the mainstream media, we talk about housing market, but really when it comes down to it, real estate is hyper local. Every zip code, every neighborhoods in the country have their own unique local dynamics. They are different. They have different economic situations. A recent Housing Wire analysis found that the 10 metro markets with the most inventory per capita, 6 were in Texas and in Florida, which I already talked about it, led by San Antonio, followed by Jacksonville, Houston, Austin, Dallas, and Tampa. Again, look, we are in an area of economic uncertainty and the tariff and inflation and all this news are really paralyzing a lot of people and kept a lot of people on the sidelines. And the high mortgage rate right now is around 7% mortgage rate. So it has kept a lot of people on the sidelines, and the demand has subsided even more this year, 2025. And we have more supply coming into the market than recently. So that's why a lot of the new construction inventory in the Southeast region they have excess inventory. But I believe, like I told you, when and if the mortgage rate comes down, hopefully below 6%, we don't know when, probably not this year, maybe next year. When it comes below 6%, this kind of excess new construction home inventories in the growth markets in the Southeastern region, all the excess inventory will be absorbed by new buyers and investors alike. Does it make sense? Comment below if you to see what are your thoughts for those of you that live, especially for those of you that live in the Southeastern region right now. The top 10, we find that New York is the only city in the top 10 that's located outside of the Sunbelt in terms of new construction. It surprised me also because the Big Apple has notoriously strict land use restrictions that critics say stymie efforts to build more housing that the city desperately needs. That is very surprising. Please comment below for those of you who live in the tri-state New York City area, why this is in contrary to what the popular belief that New York City are supposedly very hard to build new homes because of the landlocked area of New York City, which is similar to San Francisco Bay Area, where I live, and in other California markets, hot markets in the coastal area in California, we have landlocked situations and also very restrictive land and zoning regulations. New construction data for March. Again, Texas and Florida lead the construction. So let me conclude this article by saying, look at this. The city with the new building permits, new construction sales. So Houston and Dallas is top two with 1.3 million permits. But when these permits are being approved, it'll take a year to 2 years before those new construction homes come online. It takes time from permitting to construction to and all those kind of things. All right. Excess inventory, the excess new construction inventory that are rampant recently in the Sunbelt markets, not just South and Southeast. We have excess new construction inventory in the western region of the Sunbelt, like Arizona and Nevada and a few other states like Denver. But again, in my opinion, it'll be absorbed eventually, not right now in those areas. But again, when you have a projection of increasing population and job growth in the Sunbelt areas, and builders in those areas, they're gonna decrease construction of new homes until this excess inventory are being absorbed by new buyers in the next year to 2 years. Hopefully, that is my projection. The builders are not stupid. They never overbuilt. That's how the builders works. They built enough homes just to be sold, and any excess inventory, they're giving some builder incentive. They're helping the buyers to pay down the mortgage rate, and they're providing some other incentive like paying 2% closing costs and few other concessions to help push the excess new construction inventories in to be absorbed. So they're doing a pretty good job, actually. We work with new buyers and our investors getting some great incentives in the very hot markets, especially in Texas and Florida and in Oklahoma. Just to give some tidbit. So again, all the top listing are in the South and Southeast with new construction permits. Houston, Dallas with the most, then surprisingly, New York City. I'm just intrigued by this, how true it is. Then, of course, come Florida, Atlanta, Phoenix, Charlotte, Tampa, Austin, LA is a surprise. Back to Florida. So mainly Florida, Texas, and the South and Southeast. To recap, you need to follow the builders, the developers, where they are built in areas which they have done a lot of advanced research over the years, and just follow them, especially that they'll build entry-level homes, which is very, very hard to build entry-level homes by the builders, but we have them. We have those resources available. So entry-level homes, less than $300,000 in the growth markets, and building permits, new constructions, and affordability. That is the key, affordability, okay? That's the important terminology you need to understand. So follow these builders. I followed them for many years. But that's my recap. You have to look into the future beyond the current short-term volatility. Real estate will correct itself in the future. You have to project into the future, whether you're primary home buyers or real estate investors. Follow these metrics. That's all I have to say. If you receive any value whatsoever from this video, please like and subscribe and comment on my video. And better yet, additionally, please put your email into the body of the description into my website so you can become a free member of our real estate investing community, the Year Real Estate Network. That way, every week in your email inbox, you will receive free real estate investment opportunities coming to you, as well as some free educational contents around real estate and housing markets and real estate investing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.